What is going on, guys? So it's finally here, Edge of Spider-Verse issue 1. Now, in case you don't know how this is going to go down, pretty much the Edge of the Spider-Verse comics are basically introducing you to the Spider-Men that are going to be taking part in the Spider-Verse. So this is issue 1, so this is Spider-Man Noir, and then issue 2, and then so on. So issue 3 will be a different Spider-Man, issue 4 will be a different Spider-Man, and so on and so on. Now, strict words here, if you haven't seen my Superior Spider-Man issue 32 review, then go and watch that now, because you are not going to understand this comic if you haven't seen Superior Spider-Man issue 32. So go over and watch my review on that now. Click the annotation on the screen now to go and view that video, and come back to this video so that you understand what is going to happen in this comic, because this comic is freaking awesome the way it ends, and you won't understand it unless you've seen that comic. So yeah, anyway, before we dive straight into this comic, I just want to announce that I'm doing a giveaway for this comic as well, and basically to enter the giveaway all you have to do is answer this question: what do you guys think of the villain in this comic? And when I say the villain, I mean Mysterio. Now remember, it's set in the 1930s Spider-Man Noir, so Mysterio is a little different, but let me know what you guys think of him, and of course I'll just randomly choose a winner. In the next issue of Edge of Spider-Verse, I'll announce the winner. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's dive straight into this comic. Alright, so guys, a quick rundown on Spider-Man Noir. Basically, when he was bit by the spider, it wasn't a radioactive spider, it was more like a spider that climbed out of an antique like a statue, and apparently it was something to do with thinking that he was worthy of the powers, and it bit him, and basically he passed out and was spoken to by the Spider God. Now, when he awoke from being passed out, he actually discovered that he had spider powers, and of course he became Spider-Man. So yeah, anyway, kicking off this issue, it actually starts off with Mysterio. Now, in the 616 universe, Mysterio is a special effects artist for like movies and stuff like that, whereas in this universe, remember it's set in 1939, and pretty much he's just a magician, he's just a standard magician, he's an illusionist, and basically he's just a bunch of trickery, or that's what people think anyway. So something else that I found really interesting as well is the fact that Mary Jane went to war. What the hell? Mary Jane going to war? What the frick? But yeah, so that was really interesting to find out, because in case you don't know, I haven't read any of the Spider-Man Noir comics. Like, of course I know him, and I've pretty much the very first time I was introduced to Spider-Man Noir was actually in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, created by Beanox on Xbox 360 and PS3, and I absolutely love that game. Anyway, enough about talking about that Spider-Man game before I get way ahead of myself. Could talk about that game all day. But anyway, actually going back onto the comic, it turns out that Mysterio actually spent some time in the Amazon rainforest creating and perfecting a gas. And this gas actually causes his crowd and audience to hallucinate what he wants them to see. So actually, he wasn't even in the tank of water, he was actually maybe stood up behind the stage, or actually still sat there drinking a glass of wine while it all went on. But yeah, in Shattered Dimensions, the Spider-Man game, they actually mention a guy called Fancy Dan, and they actually talk about how Fancy Dan the ladies man was found in a garbage can, and it was just awesome to see that he had a Fancy Dan reference in this comic as well, which was just awesome. And I love that bit of like Easter egg type thing, which was awesome. But yeah, so this is actually Felicia Hardy, and I don't know why she's wearing a mask, but it turns out that because she used to like be with Spider-Man, people actually used to beat her up and stuff. Now you don't actually get to see what her face looks like with the mask off, but basically Kingpin kills her butler, which is so uncalled for. But it seems like Kingpin looks the same except thinner in the 1930s, which is good for him, good for him. But yeah, anyway, moving on. So the Kingpin has actually kidnapped Felicia Hardy for Mysterio, and Spider-Man has been challenged to go and save her in front of an audience and all that. Now, one quick thing that I just want to mention is the fact that Peter's spider sense has been going off the entire issue because of Mysterio and the kind of threat that he is. And I don't know if you've been noticing this, but he keeps getting like these faint headaches, and his spider sense is kind of going off all the time throughout the issue. And now he's actually come up front to Mysterio. They've lobbed this gas in front of him, and of course causing him to hallucinate. Mysterio stood right in front of him, and eventually he gets knocked out and put into this glass container that is eventually going to fill up with water and drown Spider-Man. But it's just so awesome. I absolutely loved this part of the comic, and I don't know, oh my, it just amazed me when this happened. But except for this part, I didn't understand how he like shot a web up from his wrist. Like usually I thought it just goes forwards, but apparently it goes upwards as well. Anyway, basically Spider-Man pretty much covered his mouth using his web to keep himself from drowning, and he did this awesome action where he broke out of the chains looking freaking cool, and it was just the greatest part of the comic. But not until this happens. He eventually captures Mysterio, webs him up and stuff. Now, remember when I was talking about Spider-Man's spider sense going off the entire issue? It wasn't because of Mysterio, it was actually because of the Spider Hunter getting closer and closer to him. And if you've read Superior Spider-Man issue 32, then you'll know that this guy has been travelling to each dimension, killing every Spider-Man. And just as Spider-Man Noir is about to be killed by this guy, Superior Spider-Man just appears out of nowhere, saves Spider-Man Noir's life, and then takes him back to the year 2099, where he's already rounded up some of the other Spider-Men, and it's just so freaking cool. It's awesome. Now, one thing that we didn't notice is that Felicia Hardy actually got the syringe with Spider-Man's blood in it and took it back. So maybe if she injects herself with that, maybe it'll heal her, who knows. But yeah, this is back in 2099, where Superior Spider-Man has already rounded up a few Spider-Men, including Spider-Monkey, and of course he's given Spider-Man Noir a quick rundown of what's happened, like the Nazis lost the war, television became big, and all this freaking awesome stuff. It's so exciting to see all this stuff happening, and it was completely not expected to see Superior Spider-Man just pop out of nowhere and save Spider-Man Noir's life. Not to mention that the Spider Hunter made an appearance as well. Like, I didn't expect that. Now, some of you guys have told me that Spider Hunter isn't Marlon. Now, I actually thought that was Marlon in Superior Spider-Man issue 32, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's another Spider Hunter, so thank you guys for that. Now, I'm just going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Like, at first, like when I was reading it, I did have like a few things, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't boring. Of course it wasn't boring, but you know, it was just kind of, it was worthy of like maybe a 7 out of 10. But as soon as Superior Spider-Man and the Spider Hunter showed up, it was just a huge twist towards the end of the comic. And of course, I love the art as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm giving this comic a 10 out of 10. It was just so awesome. And of course, the next issue is Edge of Spider-Verse issue 2, and it actually entails Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man in a different universe. And of course, I'm expecting Superior Spider-Man to show up and save her as well from this Spider Hunter. So that releases next week, so that should be interesting to review when that comes out. And of course, don't forget to enter the giveaway. Let me know what you guys think of the villain Mysterio in this universe. And don't forget to go to the link in the description to follow me on Twitter. Also, please hit the like button if you like my video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want more. And of course, I will see you guys in my next video.